This week on the Media Odyssey podcast, we're traveling to San Sebastian in the Basque Country, Spain for GEMA Europe 2025. I was with an Italian, I was with a Basque, and now I'm bringing in a fellow French woman to talk about an amazing topic. The main topic of 2024, did you guess? Did you guess? The Olympics in Paris. So I'm welcoming Emmanuelle Lacaze from Gédéon. Emmanuelle, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us a bit more about Gédéon, and then we'll get started. I want to talk about the Olympics for sure.
Okay. So I will be short. So Gédéon is a creative agency and production company at the same time.
Well,
It's a little bit specific, and I will explain maybe later. And Gédéon was born in 1984.
wow. Okay.
And and the founder, one of the founder, has the amazing idea of building a company that will do some TV design. And
Okay.
it was not there was no agency doing TV design because it was a long time ago, and
Yeah.
there was just one channel in France.
Yeah.
But he knew that there will be more in
Interesting.
Europe and in France. So what is interesting is that Gédéon was born with this TV as a TV design agencies, and as you know, TV is motion.
Yeah.
And today, motion is at the heart of what we are doing at Gédéon. And I think that motion design is really necessary for all brands, not only TV, because today brands are became media
Yeah, for sure.
because of the social media.
And so you're saying that it's an agency and a production company, and how is that different from others in the market?
Oh, it's because of TV again. Because TV channels, they are used to ask the same agency for their design, but also for all the communication tools.
Okay.
I mean, all the campaigns, and so they have no agency plus production company,
Okay. Interesting.
as it's usual to do that for advertising, for
Okay.
example.
Yeah.
But I don't know why it was always like this in France, but not only in Europe also.
Okay.
So, but it's interesting because when we think about a design or a concept, we immediately try to take on board all the constraints of the production and of how the people inside the company will have to manage it. So it's another way of thinking creativity and concept.
Okay. And so how did the Olympics land on your desk? How did you get that gig? That must have been the gig everyone wanted.
Yeah. And to be a very, we are not a big company. We are very well known in our field of TV design, but the Olympics was really a dream.
Yeah, for sure.
And so we went to a pitch with Havas. It's a very big company.
Yeah.
So we came together, but we were only finalists on the emblem logo of the game. So it was 5 years before the games. But at this time, Thierry Reboul, the big boss of Paris 2024, watch our we produced like a movie about our emblem
For the pitch?
for the pitch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you had to go really far in the creative process already.
Yeah. We wanted to get it, but
we
were
bad.
second. We were second.
Yeah.
And the one who won was my first creative director at Gédéon. So it's funny. It was the family.
Okay.
So yes, we produced like a film in order to show how this emblem could be adapted everywhere in the city, on the people and all that. And so he looked at it and said, "Wow, it's cool." And the agency who craft the emblem that you know, the Marianne and Flame, and wasn't able to really produce assets in video and in motion.
Okay.
So he called us and asked us to come inside.
So you
their
went
office.
on board.
Yeah, on board, and it was very secret.
Yeah, for sure.
There was not a lot of people knowing the emblem, and so we were in a tiny room in their office, and it was very funny. And we worked during six weeks, I think.
wow.
Working on this emblem, to animate it, to produce a film about it, to explain why this emblem, and also a lot of assets for the reveal. So it was
Nice.
our first job with them, and then we worked during 5 years.
So
and
you,
it was
with the emblem, then, so you went to pitch, you got second, but you did something so great that
Yeah.
they still brought you on. So the one who won
No,
brought you
after
on,
that,
or?
we had to answer another pitch.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And we were 4 companies inside. It's you know, it's public pitch, so it's very specific
Because
in French.
in the background,
France.
is it because there's France Télévisions, or is it because it's the Olympic Committee, or?
Olympic
Yeah.
Committee. Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
a RFP of some sort, invitation to tender, right? So
Exactly.
it needs
It's
to
very
be transparent.
yeah,
And
yeah,
fair enough.
totally. And so we won. We were alone, so we were this small company, and but we won. We were 4, and we did a lot of projects with them until the end. 7 weeks before the opening ceremony, we won a 3rd pitch,
Oh wow.
and it was to imagine and produce assets for the opening ceremony,
Oh,
and it was
fantastic.
really
Oh my
cherry
goodness,
on
I'm
top.
so jealous. Like, I wish I was a creative person of some sorts. So fascinating. How do you work on such a high level, high profile project, so secretive also at the same time? And were you able to keep doing the rest of your job, because you said that you're a lean company? How did you manage to do that with your team?
Alors,
Any
ouais.
secrets and any sauce?
We are used to, we are very agile, we have to.
Yeah.
Because we never know if we will have, I don't know, 5 or 10 projects at the same time. It's
Yeah.
impossible.
Yeah.
That's why being producer, it's interesting, because when you are a producer, you know how to manage all
Yeah.
that kind of, you go from a very small project to a
Something
big one.
massive.
And
Yeah.
so we are lucky because we have a network of talents everywhere in the world. For example, when a long time ago, we were on a pitch in Mexico.
Yeah.
And in 24 hours, we are able to find someone really cool and who is born in Mexico to help us understand, you know, the culture. And so we did quite the same for the Olympic. So I keep the core of my
The core team. Yeah.
creative team, and then we had people depending on the project, because we did a lot for them.
Yeah.
And very different projects. Some were just for the look of the game, for example. It was really about creating and producing all the guidelines for the motion. So when you see the look, the look of the game in motion, it was our job to create all this. So it was big, but it was really about motion. But when we had to deal with all the campaigns featuring the mascot, for example, it was really advertising. So we had to work with script writers, and we also make like a studio inside Gédéon with a lot of animators, voiceover and all that, to produce all the films featuring the mascot, because it was really a big
endeavor. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so you mentioned Thomas, Julie, and the opening ceremony. Tell us about it. I mean, that's probably something that will stay with me for my entire life. I don't know if you felt that way. Well, yeah. I mean, it was just incredible. I think everyone I've spoken to have felt the same way. How innovative it was. I think no one can top. In any case, no one can top the idea of the Olympics in Paris. Yes, I'm French, but I'm not biased, I promise. But I will say that using Paris, you know, as a background scene, I mean, already you're putting you're putting the ambition this high. So tell us a bit more about what it was like, what you guys did for the opening ceremony.
So we did very, very different things again. For example, so first, Thomas Joly, he gave us a carte blanche, really.
Okay.
We came, it was, so we just had 7 weeks to conceive and produce all the elements.
Wow.
So we arrived, he explained all the ceremony.
Okay.
So it was totally crazy because it was really secret
Yeah, so
until
secret.
the last
Yeah,
time.
yeah, for sure.
So we were just a few happy few to do it.
To know.
And we were, and it was funny because he wanted to have his team in a place only for the opening ceremony.
Okay.
And they choose an office that was in quite the same building that the one of Gédéon.
Oh wow.
Same street. So it was really
that
really
was,
easy
that was good.
because of course it was not allowed to send emails or it was really. So we arrived. He explained all these concepts and idea and story.
Yeah.
But we thought that there was just 7 weeks again. So
for sure.
we thought that he had really an idea very precise on
And
each
you would
element.
Execute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we arrived and said, okay, so
you
we
can
will
do whatever you want.
Exactly. And it was just, okay, we need a 40 minutes video to put on a floor of a barge where there will be 60 dancers and you have to imagine something about it. It will be the sequence of festivity, and then we will go to darkness. So you need to find something to express this idea, and it has, of course, to be totally synchronized with the dance. So we say, okay, can we see the dance? Or I don't know, it's work in progress, the dance. And you say,
God.
okay, so you can, of course, talk with the company.
choreographer.
Voilà. So it was really difficult because 40 minutes of video in it was 30 meters of screen.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So it's very big data. So you are unable to change it at the very last time. And there was no rehearsals in real conditions because it was along the Seine.
Yeah.
So, and it was secret, so it was impossible to do it.
So it had make it or break it. It had to work, right?
Yeah. So we had to imagine some tools in order to be able to do something synchronized without having the choreography. Just it was possible to do some shoot on a car park. You say park, right?
Yeah.
With some of the dancer, not all the dancer, but we managed. And the other thing was that it was a little bit difficult to manage is that Thomas is coming from theater.
Yeah.
So he's not used to video and to motion. So we had a short time, so we had to come with some concepts, still images, mood board, and all that. But
so he could envision this. Yeah.
So it was a big job. So we did this floor, and it was really interesting because of this big constraints of lot of constraints. We also produced the film. I don't know if you remember when there is a horse rider on the Seine. There was like a film on all the history of the games, and so we did a lot of researches. And we test a lot of things. We didn't know if we preferred to work with some themes of the games or being historical. So it was a very, very long process. And also the sequence of it's funny because the horse rider, everybody after the ceremony told, wow, it was amazing, this horse. But during the prep, Thomas and everybody in the room, we were like, oh my God, it's so long, this horse on the Seine. And then how could we do to make it a little bit entertainment? So we had this movie.
Yeah, the visual elements.
But and at the end, it's funny because it's the one that is really stressful, but at the end
it worked.
Yeah.
I remember I was watching that on French television, and after that I heard that there was a bit of a disappointment because we couldn't see all of the things that were happening, right? So what we saw on screen is potentially half of what you guys did because so many things were happening at the same time, right?
Right. We have to delay a lot of things because of the rain first.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we also spent a lot of time doing some trompe-l'œil on La Conciergerie in gold. And it was very difficult to do, to be really, you know, to do the match very precisely. And at the end, you don't see it on TV.
Don't see it.
So you're like, wow. And there was also a sequence with Tahiti. That was where we work a lot on it, and it was they were unable to do it because it was with some drones, and it was impossible because of the rain. So yes, and there was also something difficult is that all the ceremony was along the Seine, so was traveling. And I think that in terms of direction, it was not easy.
For sure.
There was no rehearsals, so it was very difficult for the director, I think, to shoot it.
And play a lot, and sometimes it was a bit too static, even for the closing ceremony. But
for us, it was a little bit.
But I mean, you guys did a good job. So what happens next for you guys, right? Because when you work on a project like that, how do you go back to business as usual?
No, okay. During maybe 2 months, September and October, we were like and also we had a strong relationship with all the people from Paris 2024, because when you leave this, it's really, really crazy and amazing. So, and they are all like more than Gédéon. They were really like lost a little bit, and so there was like
a bit of a limbo, flottement in French. I felt it as a viewer when the Olympics and the Paralympics were over, early September. We were joking with friends, what are we gonna do now? You know,
I totally agree.
Because we spent a month, you know, doing that and having TV on all day. So, so what did you guys do? You gotta keep bringing du beurre dans les épinards. I don't know the expression in English, but
I'm very lucky as the president of Gédéon, because my team is always very enthusiastic, and it's really cool. And even very small projects. For example, just after that, we had to work on just an opener for an iconic program on France Télévisions about cinema, and I think it's a it didn't change for 45 years. Ça s'appelle les cinémas de minuit. But because it was cinema, because it was so iconic, because we had to work on the music and to work with the score of a very famous musician and remix it and all that, I think we still are happy to work on every project. And yes, it's true that it was big scale and a very big event, and I hope we will have we will work on other international events.
But small is beautiful, right?
There's small,
exactly.
You can, and I think it's always if you want each project to be a challenge, a creative challenge, you can do it. It's just a question of seeing, as we say in France, le verre à moitié plein ou à moitié vide.
Glass half empty, half full.
Voilà, exactly the same in
so
English.
You're a half full kind of company.
We try,
and good for you
we
guys.
We try, and I know that I'm very lucky, and there is always a challenge.
I love that.
Voilà.
Thank you, Emmanuelle. Thank you for coming on the Media Odyssey podcast. Thank you to Emmanuelle Lacaze from Gédéon. Awesome to speak about the Olympics. For the last 20 minutes, I felt like I was back in summer 2024. So she mentioned having felt a bit of a void afterwards, but she had to get back to business. They did that admirably. But I felt like as well, like any viewers, I'm sure you felt it too, right? After a month of an amazing Olympics session and Paralympics, we felt orphaned, right? But that was fantastic. Thank you so much for being here with us, guys. Now we're going on to a Q&A, pink shows, and more. See you soon.